All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. And wow, did we see a day today? We had some fundamental news come out. Trump pausing tariffs for 90 days, except for China. China was increased to 125% tariffs. Other than that, though, the markets saw a very bullish reaction on this news. And we got quite a pump today, breaking some key resistances, key local resistances, and we are now back within our bigger trading range. You can see that the bottom of the pitchfork band did hold two taps on the bottom of the pitchfork band. It is holding. Yesterday, when I made my video, I was talking about, yes, we hit into the pitchfork band again, but because we did not get the SFP, I wanted to see one more low to actually grab that SFP. We did not, and now it looks like we are exploding to the upside, breaking our local highs. By the way, we were looking for these local highs to be taken based off of our 886 touch here. Remember, we were looking for these highs to be taken, so those highs have now been taken. And you can see that Bitcoin is breaking up to some key areas of resistance that we are looking at right now. So let's go ahead and go on the Coinbase chart. In this general area, we were looking at our naked weekly point of control at 82.7, excuse me, and our golden pocket just above. That golden pocket is taken from our 88,500 highs down to our lows. Golden pocket is there, and we are seeing a rejection as of now from the golden pocket. We are starting to lose the naked weekly point of control. Now, what I am looking at here, as far as our local structure goes, this does look like it is a bit impulsive here. And if we go ahead and turn on our volume, you can see that huge spike in volume in our third wave to the upside. So are we going to see a retrace in a wave 4 and one more high in a wave 5 to complete this little impulse here? Now, in yesterday's video, locally, we were looking for one more push down to take out our lows, these lows near the 786. We actually pushed down even further than that, getting our last little leg down of that impulse down, and we were chopping around a little bit overnight until we got some news this morning, which gave the markets a pretty bullish reaction. So what can we look at now? First off, I want to talk about the range that we've been in. Let's zoom out to this 2-hour chart, and this intermediate range that we've been looking at since the Bybit hack, since the Bybit impulse, I should say, Bybit hack impulse completed, we've been ranging sideways. Now, we were starting to lose that range over the weekend, and we bearishly backtested it a couple times and rejected, which was a bearish sign. But we did talk about, if we can get back within this value area, that is going to be a more bullish sign, and we could see further moves to the upside. Yes, I did want to come take out our double lows first before seeing that move back up into the pitchfork, into the volume profile, but we are back within it. The bullish news catalyst today gave us that push back within the range. So now what am I looking for? We are rejecting from the golden pocket area. Also, it is the point of control of the range on Bybit. Coinbase's point of control is a little bit higher. You can also see it's around the pitchfork band. We have that bearish pitchfork band. It's around the pitchfork band here. Earlier today, I did take a long when we reclaimed the pitchfork midline and back tested it here. Took a long in this area. Now, I had no idea this news was going to come out. I was just looking for a move really up to take these highs. Now we have gotten that push back up into this area, and you can see we're even trying to break this pitchfork band bullishly, and right now we're in the process of back testing the upper part of the band to see if we can continue a little bit higher. I do think we are at a heavy resistance, though. We are at our golden pocket and naked weekly point of control area where we could look for a small pullback. So if we are in a 5-wave impulse to the upside, seeing our third wave completing now, we could see a little bit of a drawdown here, a pullback, to backtest our value area lows of our range that we have now re-entered within. Now that we have re-entered the volume profile of this range, we can look for a backtest of the value area low for it to flip to support to continue one more push to the upside, where we then could see either a correction and another continuation to the upside, or we could see an impulse down. We'll have to see. There's not enough data on the charts right now to let us know what's going to happen there. So right now, I would say, yes, we are at a pretty big resistance area. We could see the pullback from where we're at right now. If we do pull back in a slow three-wave corrective move down to this value area low, around 80,500, I will be looking to enter a long on the bullish backtest of this area here to take up to at least break our highs here, maybe up to this, let's see, what was it? This anchored VWAP up here, right around 85K, 85.2. This is the area that I would be interested in taking some profit, at least partial profits on. Let's go ahead and zoom out onto the daily chart, and you can see how nice. We were talking about this in the last couple videos. We had our local drive of bull div on the daily, and we were looking for one more low to be made to create a third drive of bull div, where then if we saw the momentum wave start to roll over and money flow come to the upside, that would give us a signal that we could see a bigger push to the upside. Now, I know I was looking primarily for this low to go down to 72 to 74K before seeing that third drive of bull div confirm and get that push to the upside. But this news has shifted the market sentiment. Markets are reacting very bullishly on this news, and we have confirmed that triple drive of bull div. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 here. Bull div on the daily. Very bullish daily candle here. Our daily candle looks like a very nice bullish engulfing candle, engulfing our complete day before that, our red day before that. And I even put our new daily level down here of support because, let's be real, actually the daily just closed 3 minutes ago. So now this is officially a daily level of support at 76,251 on Coinbase. And I am looking for just us to continue to trade within this volume profile, this range that we're looking at right now. Can we see a move up to the top of the range? Yes, we can. So what I am looking for, if we get that pullback to backtest the value area low at 80,500 and we hold it, we could look for a move up to the Coinbase point of control and that anchored VWAP area, 786 area, towards the top of our descending channel. Now, this descending channel has been holding us down, the entire bearish trend here. So we could see a push up to that top of that channel where we do get rejected once again from the top of the channel around the 786, around the anchored VWAP, and we could see a bigger correction to the downside after the impulse completes. If we can break above this channel, we might see a pretty big push up. Now, the main area that I am looking for as our first area of resistance is the value area high of this range, and the high is just above it. If we go on to our liquidation heat map, let me go on to the Model 3. Let me make sure we're on Bybit. And let's go out to that last month of price action. Look at this liquidity on the heat map. And I talked about this in yesterday's video, but look at how much liquidity is above those highs running into 89, 90K. There is a big possibility with this strong magnet pulling us up, and now our sentiment is shifting more bullish with this pause of the tariffs for 90 days. I do think that we could work our way up to grab this liquidity. Now, I want to stay on the same exact heat map, but we're going to go to Binance because Binance has a completely different heat map. Let's see, Binance USD. 1 month, and you can see, yes, there is some liquidity that's still up there, not as strong as Bybit's liquidity, but you can see the large amount of liquidity down below as well, between 67K and 66K. So we do have liquidity on both sides that is going to be acting as a magnet. I would not be surprised if we come up, grab our 89K liquidity, get everyone bullish that the bull market's back on, we're breaking the trend, hit into that, grab that liquidity, see the fake out of the channel, and then dump right back down. This is what I'm going to be watching for. Now, I am not planning on taking this trade unless I see confirmed confirmation too short on the liquidity grab of these semi-equal highs around 89K. Other than that, Bitcoin, very bullish reaction. If we go back to our pitchfork, our bullish pitchfork, you can see that, yes, the bottom of the band is holding. And I did say in yesterday's video, as long as this band holds, we could either continue to range or we could see a move back up into our range that we lost over the weekend and continue to trade in that range. Now, let's go into this pitchfork here, because this pitchfork has really been great for calling major levels to look for trades at. We lost that pitchfork midline. We came down to the lower band. We held the lower band of support, and now we're getting a bullish reaction from the lower band of support. Well, look at where our anchored VWAP from the all-time high is coming in. And it is also our pitchfork midline. This is right around, if we go ahead and grab our horizontal ray and we put it on our semi-equal highs around 88, 89K, you can see an SFP of these highs into the pitchfork midline and into the anchored VWAP would be an area where we could see a fake out, a pump up to 89K, grab that liquidity that's above on the Bybit chart, on the Binance chart, grab that liquidity into the pitchfork midline, and then continue to either see a correction to the downside and continue to range within the bigger range that we've been seeing, or make that full reversal to finally come back down and hit our more macro support levels between 72K and 67K. That's kind of what I'm watching right now. But this reaction from the market today has been very bullish. And with our bull divs, our triple drive of bull divs confirming on the daily chart, we could see a bigger push to the upside. We have had the green dot that is printed and confirmed on the daily chart. Anytime we see a green dot print with a bullish divergence, we generally get a pretty big move to the upside. So I am looking now that we are back within our range. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this chart here to the 4-hour chart. Now that we are back within this range, as long as we do not lose the value area low of the range, which is around 80.5. Let's go ahead and pull that range. On Coinbase or on Bybit, it's around 80.7. But as long as we don't lose that 80.7 to 80.5K area, I do think we can continue to work our way up higher to grab that liquidity that's above us. Yes, I do have some intermediate levels in between there, but that will be looking for pullbacks for the bullish trend to continue until we really grab our major liquidity above us. You can see that that value area high of that range is also up there. So the SFP into the pitchfork midline, into the anchored VWAP from the all-time high, grabbing that liquidity, and then seeing a reversal to the downside is something I will be watching closely. Get everyone bullish that the bull market's back on. We're going to go towards new all-time highs, only to grab the liquidity of the range highs and then dump. I shouldn't say range highs because these guys are the range highs, but our last value area high rejection highs. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at here on Bitcoin right now. I'm going to be watching very, very closely the bullish backtest of this value area low. Now, I do want to talk about this. You can see this candle in here. We have a giant fair value gap within this candle, a giant imbalance within this candle, all the way down to like, what is that? 78.4, 78.3-ish. So if we start to lose the value area low and not hold it as support, now that we're back with inside of it, if we are going to reject from this point of control and this naked weekly point of control and start to lose our value area low and start to close some candles below it and flip it bearishly, we could see the move all the way down. It could have been a news pump followed by a dump. We do have to remember this trade war is still going on. Yes, the tariffs are paused for 90 days for most countries, but China, the tariff was actually increased to 125%. And we know that China is not going to take this laying down. China is the only country that can actually probably battle this trade war and drag it out. And so if we do start to see retaliations from China, that can cause uncertainty in the markets. We do know that China, there's rumors that China dumped $50 billion worth of T-bonds today. And if China is going to continue to retaliate against the United States, it's going to cause uncertainty in markets, with them being two of the largest economies in the world. And this could have just been a euphoria pump on news before dumping. So I am aware of both scenarios, both a bullish and a bearish case scenario. Overall, I'm really looking for 89K to 90K coming up to this area of resistance, grabbing that liquidity and seeing a reversal. Or I'm looking for the loss, I should say, sorry, of the value area low around 80.7 to 80.5. If we lose this, then we'll have to assess the situation to see if we are going to completely come down and hit that macro support below us. Okay, let's go ahead and go into our CVD and open interest, because let's look at this move up that we saw today. This was obviously the time that we heard Trump tweet about the 90-day pause in tariffs, giving us an explosive move to the upside on very much increased volume. Well, if we look at the move before the move happened, about an hour or 2 hours before the move happened, you can see we were building. Longs were coming into the market. Fresh longs were coming into the market, successfully pushing the price higher. So this move that we've seen today has been a healthy move to the upside from the majority of it. You can see open interest significantly increasing until we got to our initial highs, which is where we rejected from that naked weekly point of control. Since then, we have continued a little bit higher, but our open interest is decreasing. Just some late longers getting stopped out. You can see right here towards the highs, a lot of late longers coming in here. Those longers were fresh positions. And once we started dropping a bit, we started seeing them get flushed out of their positions. I mean, you shouldn't be longing after a 7-8% pump. So that's where a little bit of the dip in open interest comes from. And then we get another push to the upside. Fresh longs coming back in, stepping back in, thinking the trend is going to continue to the upside. And now that we are dropping, we are starting to lose those longs that are longing in this area up here. So if we start to lose our dead cat bounce lows around 81.7, if we start to lose 81.7, we could see a bigger flush to the downside to that 80.5, 80.7K area, where then we would want to look for that bullish backtest. But we need to be careful. Once again, we need to be careful because look at, even if we zoom in on the hourly chart, let's go on to our hourly chart. You can see the imbalance in this candle. We have a giant fair value gap in this candle here. And if we start to come with inside that fair value gap, and we could squeeze down very quickly to fill all the imbalances within this fair value gap. So this 80.5 to 80.7K area is going to be crucial to hold. It's also our prior highs. So now that we're breaking market structure bullishly on higher time frames, you're going to want to see these prior highs now flip to support to continue the bullish momentum to the upside. As far as market cipher B goes, you can see we did have that money flow cross over into the green on the hourly chart. Yes, we are topping out on our momentum wave on the hourly chart, which shows that we could get that small pullback to backtest that area. If we go on to the 15-minute chart, we did have some bear divs coming in towards the top here. Higher highs on price action, lower highs on momentum waves. Our money flow was finally starting to come out here. So we did see the signal to take a short up here. I did take a short up at around 83.1, I think it was. 83.1. Once we started losing this point of control, I looked for the short here. Still in that short. Stop is just above the local high. And I will look to TP at least 50% of it at the value area low. Bullish backtest of the value area low. Because I do think there's a strong possibility we could continue this move to the upside. Okay, and as far as our 12-minute time frame goes, yes, we do have 12-minute bear divs as well. Money flow looks pretty decent, though, on the 12-minute here. And I do want to go back to our bearish pitchfork from the all-time high, because you can see that even now I am suspecting that we might bounce from the backtest of the bearish pitchfork. Now we're trying to break this pitchfork bullishly to the upside. So if we start to bounce here and I start to see some movement to the upside, I might take some profit on my short trade just to cover my stop loss to make sure it's a break-even trade. I also think it's a possibility that we could come down to the bottom of the band and backtest the bottom of the band, which we would be grabbing our local lows into the bottom of the band. And then if I do see us reclaim those lows, I'll take some profit on my short. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just looking at the levels, and if I see the confirmations that I'm getting at those levels or the reactions that I want to see or I don't want to see, then I will look to take profit. Like if we get this bounce from this band and start to reclaim this low, yes, I'm going to take some profit right away on that short trade. Otherwise, I'm looking for the value area low. That is really about it, guys, for Bitcoin. Nice move today. Very nice reaction today from the markets on Bitcoin. The S&P 500, we saw a nice bounce on the S&P 500. And earlier today on the S&P 500, before this news happened, I was talking about some scenarios that we could be looking at here. So as many of you know that were in the Discord with me or was watching the live stream that I did, we were looking at this move down being a potential ABC correction to hit into our 1-to-1. So if we go ahead and change this to our ABC target zone, we were looking at that 1.236 where it was in confluence with the pitchfork band, the high time frame pitchfork band. Well, we continued to dump past that. And if we look at, so now that we've dumped past our 1.236, it does increase the probability that this is an impulse to the downside. Okay, so let's look at where we stopped. If we go to our 1.618, you can see the lows was around the 1.618. Now, in a very extreme scenario, which I would say what we have been seeing in the markets the last week with these trade wars is an extreme scenario, your ABC correction in an expanded correction, the C wave can expand to the 1.618. So there's a possibility that this correction is over and we blast off. But because we hit the 1.618, it also increases the probabilities that this could be just the third wave down instead of an ABC correction. It could be the third wave down of an Elliott impulse down where we do see a bounce in 4 coming up to our 0.5. So let's see. I haven't even checked this yet. If we go here. Okay, we've hit our golden pocket now. So what that does, that invalidates the impulse to the downside. So now we know that this could have been an ABC correction, an expanded ABC, bouncing from the 1.618, and now we are about to zoom back up to the upside, pump back up to the upside. I am still going to be watching. If we go ahead and, let me get rid of that. Let me zoom out just a bit here to make this a little bit easier. If we look at our last prior highs up here, and we go to our lows, you can see that golden pocket is coming in right around that pitchfork midline, 56 to 5,700, 5636 to 5,700 up. That area is an area that we could still reject from that area, creating a lower high and continuing down. But since we hit our 1.618 and we broke our 0.5, since we hit our golden pocket of the wave 3 down, of if this was a potential impulse, that has invalidated the impulse. So this we can now take off as a scenario on our chart. You can also see we do have bull divs on the chart on Market Cipher. Maybe not bull divs. Actually, it's not bull divs. It's more of an equal low there. But green dot, momentum wave bottoming out, and we are getting a nice bullish reaction. So I'm going to be looking, as far as the S&P 500 goes, we could probably get a move up to this golden pocket pitchfork midline where we would want to see how it reacts once we get up there, because we could reject from this area and at least roll back down to fill some of these imbalances that were created. Okay, let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum. Now, guys, on Ethereum, I was talking about this level of support being a major level of support where we could finally start to range and find a bottom. Ethereum also had a very nice reaction today. We were at the value area low of our major range. Now, this range goes all the way back to 2021, May of 2021. So like the last 2 bull markets. And the way that we've been dropping on Ethereum, if we start to break some of these lower highs here, 1,800, 1,900, if we start to break some of these lower highs, we could really start to squeeze to the upside extremely hard on Ethereum. Let me go ahead and hide these for now. So yes, I am going to be watching for that. But as far as Ethereum goes, you can see that we still haven't even really reclaimed our value area low of our prior range that we broke to the downside. So what we need to be watching for on Ethereum is to come up to this, 1760 to 1800 level. We have that naked weekly point of control at 1789 and our prior highs around 1845. In this general area, we could be watching for a rejection to continue down and then form that bigger range where we start to bottom out around our major golden pocket, have some accumulation form over the next couple months, and then see that bigger push to the upside. But I would say Ethereum, We knew we were at a very, very key level of support, being the value area low of our 5-year range or 4-year range. And we were at our major golden pocket, our macro golden pocket area. So yes, Ethereum seeing a very bullish reaction. We could continue this push to the upside. We do have some imbalances still within this candle that we could continue to come up to fill that. But as long as we do not reclaim our value area low of this previous range, let me go ahead and delete that. As long as we do not reclaim this value area low of this previous range here, we could expect us to come up here, reject from here, and then roll back over. Now, Ethereum, you can see we did make a lower low on the Ethereum chart, and we have some very nice 4-hour bull divs. Money flow coming to the upside. This here is a very bullish pattern, and that means that Ethereum could see a much bigger push to the upside. So now, if Bitcoin's about to pull back a little bit, Ethereum's going to pull back, follow. You see our point of control here of our major 5-year range. Our point of control is around 1570. So if we pull back into this area of about 1570 and hold this point of control as support, we could absolutely see a move at least up to 1800, if not much, much higher, up to the $2,000 area where we have that naked weekly point of control. We have a fresh weekly level up there. We have our liquidity of the start of our impulse down here. And it looks like a nice area that we could pump to. We do have some resistance before that, but we'll look at that. With our higher time frame bull divs and our money flow increasing here, we could see a much bigger push to the upside. So yeah, overall, Ethereum, I mean, it's very simple. We need to reclaim 1783 to 1800. If we can reclaim that, look for higher. Look for maybe 2000. If we can't reclaim that, then we could continue to range between this area for a bit, or at least in this green box, I'd be looking to start to form a smaller range, maybe in this area here. But now with this bullish signal we're seeing on the charts here, I am going to be watching for the bullish backtest of the point of control. And if we start to bounce, I will look for long on Ethereum if we have confirmations. What we're going to want to be watching for is we're going to have to zoom in on lower time frames. And as we're grinding our way down here, we're going to want to see some local bull divs on the chart. So we're probably going to have to look on 15-minute and under, 15-minute, 30-minute, 12-minute, 5-minute bull divs coming to the backtest of this point of control. Let's actually zoom out here and let's grab this and extend this all the way. Okay, there we go. Now we do have that daily level of support that was just made and confirmed, 15 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago. So we'll mark that out. That's 1472, new daily there. And that guy has been tapped. Yes, okay. And then really we have that daily around 1905, which is the SFP of our highs into our POC of our prior range and that daily. But overall, I'd be looking actually towards the $2,000 area where we have the naked weekly point of control, the weekly. We have the value area high close by. Okay, that is it for Ethereum. Now let's go to Solana, because Solana, once again, guys, Solana, we were looking at this major support that we hit. We hit the monthly level in confluence with our pitchfork band, our lower pitchfork band. We saw a strong bounce from this area. Now, let me zoom in on Solana, because Solana, I actually did take a short from Solana. And I'm going to tell you why, because this move up that we've seen from Solana looks like a very corrective 3-wave move to the upside. A, B, C here, with us hitting our 1-to-1 target at 120.28, and we are seeing a small pullback from this area. Now, with this being a 3-wave move here, it doesn't look the best here. Yes, we are seeing, well, actually, we weren't even seeing bull divs on Solana because we didn't make a lower low here. And with Solana bouncing from that area, the key area that Solana needs to get back above is the value area low of our year-long range around $123. If we can get back above $123, then we could be in some real We could see this as a deviation of our year-long range, and then we could see a flip to support and a continuation much higher. But until we reclaim $123, Solana is unfortunately a little bit weaker looking than some of these other coins. You can see that we do have that fresh daily level around 122.74 and the value area low at 123. That's going to be our real key level to break. Now, with this being a three-wave move to the upside and hitting our one-to-one target in an ABC correction, you're looking for a three-wave zigzag move, and you're looking for, with this being the A wave, this being the B, that's the A wave, that's the B wave, that's the C wave, your most common targets for the ABC correction, let me go ahead and just redo this real quick, are between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236. So if we go here, we go to our ABC target zone, you can see that we have hit into our 1-to-1 target, and we are currently seeing the rejection from our 1-to-1 target. So I did short once we started losing $120. I shorted up here. Now, I will be looking to take profit around this pitchfork midline. This is a scalp as of now. So around $114. I am going to be looking to take some profit. You can see that that pitchfork midline here held its support, lost it to the downside. It was, we kind of front ran it a little bit because there was a golden pocket right here at 112. But now that we're breaking back above it, we can look for it to flip to support to continue higher, to at least continue up to 123. And let's go to our other Solana chart here. So yes, Solana bounced from that monthly level. We are finally getting back above our bullish pitchfork band. So if we come down and do a bounce from either one of the pitchfork bands, we could see that move up to the value area low. Let me go ahead and pull this all the way. Yes, but and until we can reclaim, let's zoom out on the daily chart and let's just look at this range here, because this range is our range all the way from the March 2024 highs. You can see that the value area low had been holding as support for most of this range, right? Support, 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 support. Now that we're losing it to the downside, we even came up back, bearishly back tested it. I covered this in yesterday's video. Bearishly back tested, rejected, and made new lows. And until we can get back above 123, we do have to suspect that the overall downtrend could continue on Solana until we get down to the bottom of the pitchfork around $90, $91. But still a very bullish engulfing candle. We now do have a new daily support level. We can mark out that daily support level. Not that. Daily support around 105. And let's zoom in onto the 2-hour chart. So I just don't like the way that Solana had this very clear three-wave zigzag to the upside. And that gave me my signal to look for a short when we hit that 1-to-1 and started rejecting. And that's why I shorted this. I am looking at it as a scalp at first, because there is, if Bitcoin continues pumping, then some of these alts will continue pumping as well. What we can also do now is, let me just go back onto my other chart, and I'm going to delete some of this stuff here. We can look at this as a ascending channel, which oftentimes in this ascending channel. All right, yeah, so if we do come back up and hit the top of the channel around the $123 to $125 area, we could still see that rejection from another bearish backtest of the value area low, where we do have our daily. You can also see that pitchfork midline is coming in around the midline of the channel, which you can see has been respected. So this is my first take profit area for sure on the trade, $114. But there is a possibility we could see a bounce from here, come up to 125, which is still our ABC correction target zone. Because we got to remember, in a C wave, you see a 5-wave impulse, right? Within the C wave, you see a subcount of a 5-wave. Well, we had our pretty clear 3-wave zigzag here in B. Or you could even say, actually, it's tough with including that wick there. A, B, C here. And then you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back testing the value area low and the 1-to-1 target. And then we could see that bigger dump. But as long as we are not losing the channel trend line, I do think we could continue to kind of grind to the upside. And really, 123 is the most important area on the chart right now for Solana. If we reject from 123 to 125, this general area, we could see a bigger push down. If we can flip it to support, we can continue much higher. Okay, and that is about it for Solana. I mean, we do have this giant imbalance in here. We need to be watching this imbalance, because if we start to fall back within this imbalance, there is a possibility that we do fill it. The support doesn't hold and we do fill it. But that's why we're going to want to be looking at, I'm not looking to take a long here. I'm just looking to take profits on shorts here. If I see maybe some bullish CVD divs, I might look for a long here, but we'll see. Okay, XRP. XRP is getting that push up to our channel midline. Let's go ahead and zoom out onto the daily real quick. While we're here, I'm just going to mark out that new daily that just confirmed at 179, really 180, closer to 180, 179.58. And once again, guys, we have this big range. So this range has been forming for quite a while, and we've been in this descending channel for quite a while. Well, we now came up to the midline of the descending channel, which was also around the value area low of that range. And we are rejecting. Now we hit this daily, so I'm going to delete this daily. And I can delete this too. So yes, we lost our volume profile, our range that we have been trading in since December 8th. Now we are making a test to come back up to bearishly backtest it. And so far, we are rejecting. And if we zoom in on this, yes, it's a very nice daily bullish engulfing candle, green dot on the daily, but no bull divs. Bitcoin has bull divs. XRP does not. Solana does not. Ethereum does not. If we go onto the 4-hour chart, you can see how nicely we rejected from the channel midline and the value area low. Also, this does look a bit more three-wave corrective from the lows. Very three-wave corrective structure to the upside, telling us that this could be a corrective move before overall continuing back down to make new lows. So if that is the case, let's actually look at this, because I have not looked at this yet today. Okay, have not hit our 1-to-1 target yet, but let me go ahead and, yeah, no 1-to-1 target hit yet. The bullish scenario on all of these coins is that this is not an ABC, but this is going to be a double 1-2 impulse to the upside. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay, so we do have to account for both scenarios, and we know if the markets are going to get very bullish on the sentiment of the tariff pause and the trade war kind of coming to I don't want to say an end, because it's not ending, getting some relief, then we could look for some double 1-2s on some of these coins. So let me go back to Solana real quick. A bullish scenario on Solana would be that this is not an ABC rejecting from our 1-to-1, but it could be a 1-2, 1-2, where we come back down, maybe even to the bottom of the channel, and then see a 3 explode up, 4, 5, 4, 5. But we don't have enough data on the charts yet. We have to see how this reacts. If we start to impulse down, we know that this was an ABC and that probably we're overall going to make new lows. It will take some time and we could range for a bit, but overall we're going to make new lows. If we start to come down in a 3-wave zigzag grinding slow grind to the downside, then we could say, hey, there's a bigger probability this is a 1, 2, 1, and then we see something like this. A 3-wave move to the downside in this, we could say, hey, maybe this is going to be a double 1-2, and then we're going to start to explode. So what we are about to see in this correction that's about to happen is going to tell us what we need to know. Okay, that's XRP. Yes, we're XRP. We're rejecting from the value area low of our range that we lost. So just like with Solana, our key level to get above on XRP and to close daily candles above is going to be around 205, 205 to 207, 208, I should say, 205 to 208. Now, if we can start to get back within this volume profile, I think we can absolutely make our way up to 243 to 245. We have the point of control of the range is there. We have a naked weekly level up there and a naked weekly point of control up there, as well as our anchored VWAP from the all-time high is going to be close by. That is it. And if we do start to reject from here and start to impulse down, I would look for us to come down towards the bottom of the channel, towards 155, even to like this green box of support between 145 and 140, 146 and 140. Okay, that is it for XRP. Let's go to Chainlink. Let me get rid of some of this smaller stuff here. Chainlink, we're still kind of ranging around this bottom range here. I don't like that anymore. Let's see. Yeah, I would say, there we go. So we had our range on Chainlink, and you can see we broke down to our key level of support. I've been looking at this support being a major support level for quite a while. But let's go zoom out again and look at what we front ran. We front ran our lows, our key lows of this impulse to the upside into our golden pocket. Now remember, this golden pocket is based off log scale. So we had this box here. Now we extended the box up to the daily level that was at 10.24. So yes, we hit into our support and we are seeing a very bullish reaction. This level here, unfortunately, we did not get what we wanted there. We can delete that. That was a losing trade. I mean, we did get a small reaction at first when we first bounced into it, but we just made a lower high and continued down. What I don't like about where we bounced here, we bounced right before taking the liquidity. Yes, it is the around the value area low of this little accumulation range. And we also front ran the golden pocket just barely. That to me is a little bit of a bearish sign. You can see though, we are trying to work our way up into our previous range. If we go ahead and zoom back in onto the 4-hour chart, this previous range after the impulse ended and we had that 3-wave corrective Trump tweet weakened, after the impulse ended, we've kind of been just doing this 3-wave, ABC down, slow grind up, and then another impulse down. Well, what we can look for here is this value area low that we lost with volume to the downside, hitting into our more major support levels. Now that we are seeing a bullish reaction from our support levels, we're currently right at the value area low. You can see we also had a naked daily point of control there. I'm going to delete that because we've all busted through that now. If we are just seeing a fake out of this value area low and we start to lose it to the downside, we could see, just like with all these coins, a bigger push to the downside. But if we can bounce from where we're at now or bounce from our prior highs, let me grab those around this 11.86 area, then and work our way back up into this volume profile, we could see a move up to 13.8 to $14 where we have a naked daily point of control, a daily level, and the point of control of our range up in this area. Next area I'd be looking at is 14.46 where we do have that. We have our SFP of our highs here, our double highs into a weekly level. And really, though, we'd probably want to be looking up towards our bigger resistances of, let's see, it's not going to be a golden pocket anymore. So what we can look at, let's go ahead and pull our golden pocket from our last major highs to our lows. Okay, yeah, that $14 area is where we really need to be paying attention because it's our golden pocket as well. So this area, let's do this. Let's extend this box down there. Here, this is going to be golden pocket, naked daily POC, daily, and then a POC. That's the area I'd be looking next. If we can kind of flip this value area low into support. 786 is around the weekly. I'd probably trade them as two separate things. And then the last thing we could look at is a golden pocket pull from our last big highs. Okay, so this is intriguing to me. Let me clean up this chart a bit. You can see that we do have, and I'll hide some of these so it's just cleaner. The golden pocket is coming in right around the value area high of our range. $15. So that weekly was just below that. I mean, we do have these highs into the weekly, so we can't ignore that. We cannot ignore that. An SFP into a weekly is definitely an area where you could be interested in taking a short. But just above that, we do have our value area high of our range into our golden pocket area, where I would look for that also to be a resistance area. So all these coins have a lot of resistances to work through. Like, make no mistake, there's a lot of work to do to really get bullish again, to get more macro bullish again. But we are seeing a good sign. Okay, and then let's zoom out onto the daily. We can mark out that daily level. I'm going to go ahead and delete this daily now because we've hit it. And we can now move this box. Well, I'll leave it for now. But let's go ahead and mark out our new daily. 10.91. And that guy was hit. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So the next level I'm really looking at is that 13.8 to 14. And actually, let's see here. If we go ahead and take a Fibonacci from our last little daily high, internal high. No. Okay. Yeah. So not looking for much of that. I mean, you can see where we're rejecting though today on the golden pocket. So that golden pocket, if I just zoom in, you'll understand this a little bit better. Our last big daily highs up here, down to our lows, you can see we're rejecting from the golden pocket area. Showing overall we're still in a bearish trend. We keep rejecting from lower highs. Let's take a look at our trend-based Fibonacci extinction to see if this is a valid ABC. Okay, and rejecting from our 1.236, which is your ABC rejection target. ABC, let me draw that out. ABC here. If we reject here, we could really start to roll down. If we start to lose our prior highs, I would say. So there is some signs, guys, that this is just a corrective move and that we might continue the overall trend to the downside. Yes, that announcement today of the pause did create a lot of euphoria in the market, but make no mistake, the overall downtrend is still here. Yes, we are finally starting to see a trend change with a bullish engulfing candle, especially on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's looking a lot stronger than a lot of these coins, but yeah, we're starting to reject from its golden pocket as well. Looking for that move down. Let's check our bearish pitchfork. Okay, so we're starting to lose some levels here. Let's go to the 15-minute. Yeah, I would be looking for at least us to come down to take these lows into our bearish pitchfork. Now, remember, if we take these lows at the lows of 81.7 into 81.5, and we start to see a bounce, I'll take some profit on the reclaim of 81.7. But really, I'm looking to come back down to 80.5 to 80.7. And actually, it's 80.3 on coin. No. Wait a second. Yes, 80.3, 80.2. Let me go ahead and look at Coinbase. Yeah, Coinbase is 80.5, 80.4. So that is about it, guys. Look at this, though. Money flow, we were seeing the 15-minute bear divs, which gave me the signal, the confirmation to look for a short up in this area. I think my entry, well, let me check my phone, was around 83.1, but let me check here. Yeah, 83.078. So around there. And on Solana, 119.6. Okay. Um, right now, looking at them as scalps because this trend could continue. That is all I have today, guys. Let me just check total. Yeah, we didn't quite make it down to our major support level on total. But once again, totals rejecting from the prior range value area low. So not too much to change on total. I do still think overall the downtrend could continue until we hit these more macro supports just below us, like with Bitcoin at 72 to 70K and with the total market cap in this golden pocket between 2.29 and 2.23. All right, have a good one, everyone. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, please like the video, please subscribe. Also, I am an official partner with MEXC. If you guys are interested in trading on MEXC, there's a referral link in the comments. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a small kickback from you guys signing up under me, but you guys will also get a win. You get cheaper trading fees, and you can get futures trading bonuses up to $20,000, depending on how much you trade and deposit. So thank you for that. I will see you guys tomorrow.